Hey, what's going on, folks? We're making this video about Dangers in My Heart, the character Ichikawa, because he is currently being very, very misunderstood after the most recent episode. Really a lot of strong critique. So I'm going to give my opinion on him, and I was greatly inspired by a comment on Patreon, even though I've already had the same opinion, because I've said it on another character in another show. Anyways, people cannot get the idea that he does not see the signs that this girl is into him and he is dense. Like, oh, he's one of the most dense characters of all time. And it's like, guys, you have to be willing to put yourself in someone else's shoes when you give a critique or an opinion on them. Oftentimes, I can do that. It's actually funny because I can, for a person who doesn't cry or show emotions, maybe the sociopathic tendencies, I can greatly understand someone's character and why they're motivated to do what they do. And I would go, you know what, if I was in a similar circumstance, I would probably do the same thing. For example, if I was born in Iran, I would likely not be a Christian. I would be a Muslim. There's no going around it. Sometimes I've had arguments with Christians, and I would be like, look, man, let's face it, but the only reason we're Christians is because we were born and who our parents were. Oh, no, no. Even if I was like, nah, man, nah, if you were born in Iran, you likely wouldn't be a Christian. People don't want to admit that argument. Anyways, so this kid, right, is the bottom of the social barrel. He is not one that would bring attention on the eyes. He's frail. He has the emo look, depressing. He don't really socialize too much. He kind of like he's trying to kill. He looked like the kid in school that you should be worried about. On episode 1, that was the aura he was putting out too. A lot has changed, but that's where I'm going with it. Yamada is the baddest option on the table. The absolute baddest, speaking from their perspective, of course, because we all know the obvious. Anyways, from their perspective, because she's on the mama's level, and then I mean that literally. The two of them could be staying in the same goddamn room, and you better make sure you ask for an ID. Let's just put it clear, because you might mess up. You should have went for that mama. You didn't know better. Anyways, so she has no business being interested in this kid at all. And that's what he understands. He goes, look at me. Look at my stats. Look what I bring to the table. There's no way she's interested in me. And in the case that she is, because I'm not going to lie, she has made things extremely obvious. I am scared of getting that wrong. And I am so scared of getting that wrong that I will not act or make a decision until she explicitly tells me so. And in the world of explicitly telling me so, which is exactly what he said in the most recent episode, which should have been episode 4 of season 2, she still didn't explicitly tell him so. She gave him a very clear communication to many of us, but that's not explicit to what he said. He said what he said, and she did what she did. And that's the thing about communication. That's the thing about language. How I tell you is very different. I can write a letter. I can bake you something. I can give you one of my most prized anime figures, and be like, oh snap, I think he loves me. You see what I'm saying? And let me take this home. I don't care what anyone says. I'm gonna use myself. If I went to coffee right now and I met Jennifer Lopez, and somehow she exchanged numbers and said she was interested in me, I would not believe that. And I would start thinking this is a reality show. I'm being filmed as a secret recording, whatever. I will go along with it, and then she's like, "Yeah, I want to be with you, and I sincerely love you." I'm like, I don't believe that. You're giving me all the signs, but you're Jennifer Lopez, and I'm me. I like me very much. I don't think, believe it or not, y'all gonna trip, I don't think she's physically outside of my category in terms of her looks. It's not that. I'm not insecure in that area. But she's obscenely wealthy and has a plethora of options. So out of all the plethora of options that she's dealing with, I'm the one that's chosen. Because most of y'all, I don't care who your favorite is, if Jennifer Lopez asks any one of you out, most of you guys would say yes. Most of you, especially if you're single. As long as you're 18 and up, I don't even care if you're 19 and you're looking at her, oh, you would say yes. The problem is, and now let's look at her perspective, because even rich people have to do this. Would you love her for her money, or would you love her for her? So even we can flip it. I actually just got the mind blown, right? Because it's not about, you got to put yourself in other people's shoes. So let's keep doing that. There is a chance that Jennifer Lopez could be insecure about me. Because she's like, He has to love me for my money. He can't truly love me for who I am. There's a 20-year age difference between us. And he probably could get a Latina a little younger, a lot younger, 20 years younger, whatever, right? I'm not going to go too deep because y'all going to compare my wife to Jennifer Lopez, who we already know we're going to choose Urza, my wife. Haha. Anyways, right? So, there's a scenario where even someone like her cannot fathom that I love her for her and not her money and may be insecure about me. And going into that, she's had quite the relationship history. And you can see even on a profile like her, really doubting if these men love her because a lot of people have. So there's going to be a scenario if she's there or not there, because I think she's with Ben Affleck, that she is going to question if someone really, 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 really loves her because of what she has been through. And everybody has a scenario that could be applicable to them where they just wouldn't believe someone like that would like somebody like me. I would say for Ichikawa, if Yamada was someone significantly closer to his level, because she's not. She's not by society's objective standards. Because anybody can be for anybody. It don't matter how you look. That should not be the determining factor. But we live in the world of reality where hot people tend to be with hot people. Unless the other person is very funny, very rich. Like, you got to make up for it, right? In Ichikawa's case, he kind of makes... Actually, I don't know why she likes him. I was going to say he makes her feel safe. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't be able to help him. I would say, yo, she's giving you all the signs that she likes you. And he would say, I see that. But what does she like in me? And I would go, oh, I don't know. I don't know why she likes you. She has no business liking you, brother. And that's the part that he's wrestling with, in my opinion. That insecurity overrides his logical ability to find based on the sheer obvious signs that she's into him, because he's that insecure. He is viewing him. It's like a curve. You have a classroom curve for taking a certain test. Here are the facts. She has given me all the signs that she's into me, and I have to take into account how insignificant I am. Therefore, those facts cannot mean she likes me, because we have to remember the most important fact, which is I am greatly insignificant. So it can never be anything more. And you cannot wrap your mind around how insecure a person can be, because that is a feeling and it is not based on logic more often than not. The reason why I say that is because you could have two people with the same stats side by side, and one is confident and the other is insecure, even though they have the exact same attributes. It could be this person had a different set of life circumstances where they trusted him, or his genes pushed him through. He doesn't have shy genes. He had predator genes because his family had to deal with adversity. So by the time it got to him, he was ready for this world from a genetic point of view, okay? Because all the soft ones, they didn't make it. So here we are. So people don't understand how insecure that you could be, that's how you don't see that the girl likes you. Finally, bias. Bias exists in all things. So, for example, I love using this one. If the police think you're guilty, one of the things they'll do is they will just see evidence and it just points to you being guilty because they already thought you were guilty. That's why they have certain laws in place for how they acquire evidence, so they just can't just profile and just go. They have to go through the legal channels because whatever, okay? They have to go through science, basically, in a perfect system to prove you are guilty. Because if some have it their way with preconceived bias, you get away. That also applies to if it's your family member that's capable of some heinous stuff. All the signs are in front of you, but that's your family. They couldn't mean any harm to anybody. So your bias, his bias is coming from his insecurity, greatly impacts logical decisions and skews it depending on your bias. So people that own a business, right, tend to have a different take on COVID lockdown policies. That has nothing to do with the science, but it is because of their bias for owning a business. A person who was employed that would get a $2,000 check every week, every month for staying at home and not having to work would have a different approach to the C-19 because of their bias. More often than not, your life circumstances dictates how things are. If your state gives out a whole bunch of money for staying home, you might have a different look. Like, yeah, man, let's keep this going. If your state is a conservative one and they're like, if you're not working, you will die on these streets or die in your house, you might have a different outlook because of your bias. Not everyone, but it exists in all things. That is why, damn, I could keep talking. That is why, last point, a jury is made up of various people that they're supposed to do. They're supposed to have various people to try and get past the bias that we can have, whether it may be on a race, whether it may be on economic conditions, gender, sex. Those are different now. Anyways, that's the video. I actually went a long way on this topic. I felt it. Hope that reaches somebody, because this is actually applicable outside of anime.